Thank you for those who are coming back. Thank you to those who are new to the party. You are tuned in to another episode of Cake and Conversations. I am CiaraNirita. Let's get into the episode.
I'm writing a vision and making it plain. Don't think it's a game, and some of it just might be hard to obtain. I know it, but I don't care, cause I know deep in my brain I'm destined for greatness, and I would not get it if I keep on playing. So let me go get it.
Hey, y'all. Okay, so I am not only a creator of podcasts, I'm also a consumer. And so in this episode, I want to talk about the things that we say, words, and how our words matter. So I was watching an episode, and I say watch, even it's a podcast, but I tend to watch, if it's available, I watch them on YouTube, and then I go onto Spotify and mark them as listened to. Anyway, because I kind of like the visual part. It keeps, I just be doing too much. Anyway, so one podcast that I watch, listen to, consume is Righteous and Ratchet. Righteous and Ratchet is, you can find it on kevonstage.com. His YouTube is kevonstage, all those things. So the podcast is Kev on Stage, and his good friend Doughboy. They are both comedians. Doughboy is also a rapper, I believe a Christian rapper, but they get together and them together are Righteous and Ratchet. Anyway, so I was listening to one particular episode, and I believe it was the episode where they were talking about or recapping Kevin Hart's recent Netflix docuseries, if you will. And which I watched, which was really good. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out on Netflix. It is really, I enjoyed it. But they were talking, one of the things that, of course, the docuseries talked about was the big thing that happened with Kevin Hart and him kind of getting into some hot water over old jokes that he told relating to homosexuality. And Kevin was talking to Doughboy, like they were talking about the episode, and Kevin made a statement to Doughboy and said that currently, Doughboy hadn't reached the point in his career where where his views and opinions, at this point his views and opinions don't matter, basically, is what he was saying. And that they didn't matter that much on the broad spectrum. And but should he reach the status of a Kevin Hart, then at that status, then your words matter, your views matter, all those things matter. And should Doughboy reach that status, then he too will have, be scrutinized, and his words would matter more, his views would matter more. And he would have to, once he hits that road, or potentially now, he should probably clean up his Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, whatever social media platforms he is a part of, to kind of start the cleanup process now, so that once he does hit that point, won't have the same type of issues that Kevin Hart has experienced. Kevin Hart and many people, not only Kevin Hart, and I'm just saying Kevin Hart because they were referring to his Netflix series, but multiple people who are on celebrity status have had the same issue, where their old words, tweets, videos, all type of things are kind of coming back to the surface after, whoever Inspector Gadget type person is that goes and searches out into the depths of the interwebs and finds their words to put out to the to the world. And you know what? That statement hit me. That statement, it really made me question, would I ever care to get to the status? And if so, to get to that status. And if so, do I have what could be considered unpopular opinions that could potentially invoke the wrath, the wrath of the cancel culture that is, roaming through the internet world? And at first, like, my first thought was no, I don't ever want to get there. I don't ever want to get to that point. Like, I have no desire to get to that point. That was my first thought. But then actually, as I sat here and I thought about what I was putting together for this episode, and I thought about what that type of status means and all of the things, I can't say if my answer is truly no. Now, I'm not saying that I have a desire to be a part of, to be a celebrity, so to speak. I do have a desire to reach people with my words, to reach people with the truths and ideas that I try to bring out. That is my goal. My goal is always to, remain true to myself, to the God that I serve, to, who I am at all times. That's my goal. And would I like to do that on a broader, on a bigger platform? Absolutely. Why would I not want to, spread the love, the words that I believe I receive, the knowledge that I believe I receive, throughout all of the studying and from God that I have. I would want to share that with the masses, if that's an option. If that's the path that I go, then yes, I would like that. And then I also thought about, do I have what can be considered unpopular opinions? And the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely have what can be considered unpopular opinions. When I think about my social media, Facebook, Instagram, those things, honestly, I don't know if there's anything that I've ever posted that would make cancel culture, if you will, come after me. Not because really, it's just because I'm not really big on social media. And I know that sucks to say. I probably shouldn't say that because right now that's the culture that we live in and everything is social media. But honestly, I'm not that good at it. I actually talked to my oldest daughter earlier today, and I'm like, I need a social media manager. And so very soon she will probably be doing most, if not all, of my social media, because it's just not something that I'm good at. And so she was happy to say yes. So should cancel culture come after me in the next 10 years? Blame my daughter. But no, I do absolutely have some unpopular opinions about things, and that's okay. If from this episode or from my previous episodes, if you've listened, if you have not yet, guessed, then, I will go ahead and tell you, I am a Christian, and I am unapologetically Christian. And that means that a lot of my views, ideas, thoughts, all of those things, beliefs, all of those things are shaped by that. That's my foundation. I grew up in the church, and I am still in church. I love going to church. I love God. I love praise and worship, like all of those things. And those that foundation is what's helped shape me and become the woman that I am and the woman that I am becoming. Um, However, at the same time, if cancel culture, if you will, if cancel culture has an issue with me saying or believing and having certain behaviors, then I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with people who may not necessarily have the same ideas and belief as me not agreeing with me. I'm okay with that. What I don't particularly like about cancel culture is it's not, I don't want to say it's not fair because, fair, life isn't fair, whatever. Um, One thing that let me go a different route. So one thing that I have has been like a pet peeve of mine is a lot of times we have, people who they feel a certain way about certain opinions, whatever that may be. And so they, you know, point the finger and you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't say that and that's not okay and, blah, blah, blah. Yet, most of the times, a lot of times, those same people who, are wanting to be, accept me for the way I am, accept me for what I do, accept me for what I say, yet they turn around and they do the exact same thing that they're fighting against. Hopefully that makes sense. So for instance, if I say, I don't like blue people, we're going to make this real generic. If I say I don't like blue people, blue people are whatever, they're the worst people. And then, a green person is like, and yes, I know green people, blue people, but I'm trying to keep this very generic because I want you to fill in the blanks with whatever it is that, the thing may be in your head. So a green person is like, you shouldn't say that because blue people are people too. And you don't like blue people, so you suck, And so that person, that green person, basically just did the exact same thing that they're accusing me of doing. And yet, most of the time when people do that, hopefully that made sense, but most of the time when people do that, I wonder if they realize that they are basically pointing the finger and the three fingers that's pointing back in them. Like, you need to do kind of a self-analysis. I don't think that many people out here in the world of the internet, in the internet world, these online gangsters, these whoever these people are that are out there kind of spewing their negativity or hate among the world. I don't think that they don't recognize that their words are basically, you're doing the exact same thing that you say, you're speaking against. I don't know if people don't realize that or they just don't care, but it's always fascinating to me how people will say things and it's like, what? Like, did you not just, and I say hear yourself, but did you not read what you just typed? Because a lot of times it's online. A lot of times it's like a response to a video or a tweet or Instagram post or Facebook post or whatever. A lot of times it's in the comments. Them comments be lit. So a lot of times these words, these negative things are taking place in the comments. And it's like, I don't know if I would care to get to the point where people just feel like they could just say whatever they want to say as if I'm not human. I don't know if I want to get to that point, but I would like to experience, being able to give life and give truth to the masses, And I know you can't necessarily have, especially in this current world, you can't necessarily have one without the other. A lot of times they go hand in hand, where you have this platform where now you, for lack of a better analogy, reach celebrity status, whatever they may look like. So you hit this status to where your words now matter. But do people think that their words, if they have not hit that status, do they feel like that their words don't matter to you? Which is unfortunate, because we are all, people are just people. No matter if I have, a negative number in the bank, or a number that I probably could never spend in a lifetime. No matter what it is, no matter what my status is, no matter if I have, if I'm just now getting on Instagram, or if I got, 3 million followers, whatever the status is, the hot status is of the time, I'm still human, and I still, have feelings, and I still am in a position to where I can be hurt, I can be bruised, I can be, get to the point where I don't want to do this anymore. Not like life, but just don't want to do whatever it is that put me on this status, because people can be mean and cruel, and it's unnecessary, and it sucks, because I don't know if people realize how much words matter, how much, when we were kids, we would, talk about each other, like joking and all these type of things. And what was the little saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. And that is a huge lie. Because they do hurt. Words do hurt. Words matter, and our words do matter, when we're talking to people, when we're talking about people. Our words absolutely matter. I don't know if I would. Well, I'm not real. I don't put a lot of weight on a lot of things that people say, and that's me. And I don't have, I don't have a million followers on anything collectively or individually, but I do read comments on other people's things sometimes, because again, them comments be lit, and sometimes you just be like, you read the comments just to see the pettiness of people. Yes, I said it, and it may not be the best, color me in the best light, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you just be like, man, people be out here just wild. But I read them, and sometimes I think like, why, like how do you get to the point where you just spew hate for someone that you more than likely don't even know? Like, how can you say things like wish harm or death upon somebody, and you have no idea who this person is? The thing is, we see people's highlight reels. We see people, at their best moments, their best pictures, which were taken, 100 pictures to get to one, the videos that people put out there, and it's like, oh, this video is great, but it, potentially is edited, or if it's not edited, then it could potentially have been shot multiple times to get it right, to get the lighting, to get the angles, whatever. And so you see these highlights of people, and you wonder, like, I wonder, how do you see my highlights and then hate me? You don't know, you have no idea what I did to get to this point. You have no idea what my story truly is, unless I've put it out there and you've heard it or read it or whatever, but you really have no idea. And because you don't, you just draw these conclusions about me, or, and from that conclusion, you decide that you hate, or you dislike, or you judge, or you want to wish ill upon me. And it's like, why? I've never understood those things. I've never understood why people get to the point where they feel like their words, because of my status, my words should matter. But because I haven't reached that, because if I get to a certain status, my words should matter, but yours don't, because you haven't reached that same level on a platform. Like, that's not okay. Like, that's not um that's just not cool. So many times, and I feel like I'm kind of all over the place with this episode, and I apologize because my thoughts are kind of all over the place. um we think about these things, and like, you just don't know where people are. You don't know what people's triggers are. You don't know what mental state people are in, what their mental capacity is at that point. Like, you have no idea. And so you don't know if that one more negative comment can send somebody over the edge. If, be it, making them quit, or making them quit life. And that may seem extreme, but think about it. Think about how high the suicide rate is among people who or the addiction rate is among people who we see as celebrities, or we see as people who have made it. Think about that. Think about how many suicides you've heard, those lives that are lost too soon, those drug overdoses, those drug issues, alcoholism. Like, think about those things. And people are hurting, and you think that just because money doesn't solve everything. And honestly, everybody that's on celebrity status, everybody ain't got it. I started this episode talking about the Kevin Hart series on Netflix. Everybody ain't got Kevin Hart money. Everybody doesn't have the resources that you may think they have, because they've reached a certain level. People are out here grinding, working, so they're doing what they love most of the time, but that doesn't mean that they stop grinding. That don't mean that not to say that like a Kevin Hart isn't grinding, because obviously we see that he is a hard worker. So they're not saying that at all, but I'm saying those who you may think, those whose highlight reels you see, and you may think that they have a certain thing, that doesn't mean that they do. A lot of people be out here studying from the gram, even those who we think shouldn't have to. And I think people do it because of the status or the platform that we put them on. Actually, let's kind of switching gears, because that statement just made me think about something. So recently, Young Jock was videoed, if you will. Somebody recorded him. He was driving like one of the rideshare things, and I absolutely commend him for that. Like, first of all, he kept his cool, because that was real out of pocket. I'm not sure who the people are that recorded him, but they appeared to be younger. But I commend him for keeping his cool. And I'm not even into a whole lot of celebrity things, but these are things that have recently come upon, or that I've recently come across. And this whole episode is about our words and the things that we say. So in this clip that they recorded him, they asked, are you, verified that it was actually him? And he said yes. And then immediately they went to, oh, you must have fell off. And it's like, and he said, why have to fall off? And the thing is, like, first of all, that's just rude, disrespectful. Like, first of all, you don't know this man from a can of paint, and you just being rude, like, just because you feel like you can, just because if he were to respond in a negative way, or a way that a man on the street would respond, then, he would be the bad person. Like, he would be sued, he would be all these things. And you're doing it for the likes and for the follows and for the whatever. But people, like I said initially, people out here grinding. And just because, we know Jacques' name from music and reality TV and just all over. He's been around for a while. Anyway, because we know him from these worlds does not mean that we know him. We don't know his story. We don't know his financial situation. We don't know, any of those things. And because you feel like you know somebody because you see their highlight reels, and even if their highlight reel is something that's on TV, like on Netflix or, one of the other networks or Hulu or, cable TV or whatever, even if that's their highlight reel, if their highlight reel is a part of, bigger platforms, that still doesn't mean that you know them. That still doesn't mean or give you the right to say or spew negative things because of who you feel like they are and how you feel like they should respond, or you believing that you can say whatever you want to say because, quote unquote, I supported you, or you here because of people like me. Like, no, don't nobody needs you on their team. Like, but for real, like, nobody needs you on their team if that's your mentality. Like, it just baffles me how people feel like they could just say whatever they want to say. In this world of cancel culture, it's like, okay, y'all canceling the people who are considered celebrities, but those same people that's like out here canceling folks or riding with the cancel culture or whatever, those same people are the type of people who would turn around and, for instance, record Young Jock and be out here saying that he fell off because he out here making money in a positive legal way. Like, it just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And and it's part of the reason, honestly, why my initial answer to that question was no. I would never want to get to that status. Not only do I don't ever want to get to the point where I have to censor my words, because I don't think, at this point in my life, I don't think that I will intentionally ever try to use words that will hurt someone. I do have beliefs, ideas, and things like that may hurt people because they don't agree, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to agree with what I say. You don't have to agree with what I believe. You don't have to agree with what the Bible says, which is what I believe wholeheartedly. You don't have to agree with those things. However, even if you don't agree, I will respect you and I will still love you, because essentially that's what I'm supposed to do. I will always respect someone if they, even if they don't respect me, I can respect you and not deal with you. I can love you and not deal with you. So that's why initially my answer was no. No, I don't want to get to that status, because I don't ever want people to feel like they can just say whatever they want about not only me, but, my children or, my family, my God, all of these things that I truly care about, that I care deeply about. I don't want people to feel like they can just say, whatever they want. But then again, on the other side, the reason why, like I said, I changed that as I was penning some notes for this particular episode. I changed it to a yes, absolutely. I would want to make this status, and I did that because I refuse to let them win. I refuse to let people who spew hate. I refuse to let people who give off negativity. I refuse to let people who just want to be seen for the sake of being seen. I refuse to let these people, control the narrative, because that's honestly what they're doing. They're out here controlling the narrative. And unfortunately, there's so many people there, and they get the spotlight. And I refuse to just, lay down and let them have it. So yes, I would absolutely want to get to a platform and get to a level where my words could potentially matter, if you will, to the masses. And yes, I would like to give the information that I have, the knowledge that I have, the gifts and the talents that I have. Yes, I would like to share them with the world. And yes, I would like to tell people how good God is and how good he has been to me. And yes, I would like to say it, screaming from the rooftops. Even if you don't agree, I still would say it. I still would do it, because it's not about being in agreement. So it's not about being in agreement with me. So yes, I would absolutely like to get to the level where my words matter, because we can't let the other side win. We can't let those whose negative words have mattered for so long. We can't allow them to win. We can't allow people who have positive things to say and truth to say be automatically shut down, because we live in a society and a culture who is so quick to throw you out because of a mistake, throw you out because of unfortunate accident or words. But yet then and this is crazy, they'll be the first ones to come to you when you have an accident and like, oh, we praying for you. It's like, come on now, stop playing both sides of the fence. Like, you with me or you not, period. And it sucks that so many people are like, they just bandwagon, they jump on any bandwagon that's hot. And it's unfortunate and it's sad. But yeah, statements, words, they matter. They absolutely matter. The old rhyme that we said as kids is not true. Your words do matter. They do hurt. They can cut, and they do leave bruises. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of people either don't realize it or don't care, and they think that just because it's through the internet or it's through a post or it's typed words that they don't cut the same, but they do. So hopefully y'all rocked with me on this episode, because I really do want people to understand that their words matter, and the things that you say to people, it should be, self-checks. Check yourself. Make sure that the things that you are saying is something that you would be okay said to you, or said to your child, or said to your parent, or whoever your loved one is, whoever it is that you care about. And if you don't care about none of those people, then just stay off the internet. Stay away from the masses at this point till you get yourself together, because you should have somebody on your team that you care enough about, and that you don't want other people to hurt or harm with even their words. So in conclusion, check out Righteous and Ratchet. It's a really good podcast. They talk about current celebrity, not just celebrity, like current issues and things like that. So awesome. Check out the Kevin Hart series on Netflix. It was really good, and it gave me so much more respect for him as a man, and how he works on his craft, and the things that he does to make sure that he is out here winning in his field. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got for this episode. Just remember, your words matter. The things that you say matter. The things that you post online, they matter. And I really hope that, this little nugget that I'm putting out here to the world can like have this ripple effect. And even if the one person that listens to this, or, even if one person listens to this, and not that listens, because I want more than one person to listen, but if one person listens to this and they think twice before they post, or think twice before they put something out into the world, then that's all I needed. That's all I asked for. So hopefully you are enjoying your day, your evening, your night, whenever it is that you are listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.